Hello, Gold. Have you heard of the Avengers? Now, what'd he say? I couldn't even ask him if his Pokemon could join the Avengers. That What is going on, guys? This is Dobbs here, bringing you another Pokemon video. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 10 characters in Pokemon that have superhuman abilities. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with the video. Alright, let's start off this video with Yellow, which is one of my favorite characters from the manga. Now, in the manga, it is said that once in every 10 years, there's a child that's born in Viridian Forest that is granted mysterious powers. And you guessed it, Yellow was one of these childs that was born on this special day. And I think fans call this the Viridian Forest Curse. Now, to most kids, the Viridian Forest Curse grants the power of healing your Pokemon with physical touch, and also being able to read the minds of your Pokemon. But in Yellow's case, she obtained a few more powers that are just completely broken. Along with those two powers, she can also telepathically move inanimate objects with her mind, so she's basically a psychic. And the big one is that she can automatically raise her Pokemon's levels to 85 at will. Yeah, you heard me right. She uses the power of Viridian Forest and makes Pokemon that she's in control of level 85 automatically. So let's say she caught a random Weedle or something and she has it under her control. She can quite literally make that Weedle level 85 and battle with it. Yeah, Yellow is like the pinnacle of being a superhuman in Pokemon. And guess what? Yellow is not the only character that you're probably familiar with that has these powers. Lance and Giovanni also have them too. They both have the Viridian Forest Curse and both can heal their Pokemon with physical touch and also read their minds. But luckily for the Dex holders, they can't boost their Pokemon to level 85 because, you know, they're villains in the manga. But yeah, these three trainers are definitely superhuman in the Pokemon world. Alright, next up we have Sabrina, and man, Sabrina from the anime gave me nightmares as a kid. Now, I don't know why on earth everyone in the Pokemon universe just ignores the fact that there's legitimate psychics just hanging around that could do psychic things. It's gotta be for the fact that most human psychics are not that powerful and compared to a level 1 Abra or something. But man, if I was in the Pokemon world, I would be terrified of Sabrina because she does some freaky things in the anime. Like, for example, she is so attuned to her psychic powers that she has manifested her younger self as a little child that sits on her lap. And this younger version of herself is evil. Like, she literally turns her own mom, along with Brock and Misty, into dolls to play with them. And apparently Sabrina's mom has been in this state for quite a while now. Like, that's some Black Mirror stuff right there that just keeps me up at night. And along with that, Sabrina is also able to see into the future, read minds of others, move things around only using her mind, and even transmutation, so she's basically an alchemist in the Pokemon world. So yeah, out of all the psychics in this universe, Sabrina is probably among the strongest, which definitely makes her superhuman. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's invited by Nick Fury to the Avengers. Next up, we have AZ, and AZ wasn't born with his powers, but he was more like cursed with them. And to really make a long story short, 3,000 years ago in the Chaos region, there was a war. And unfortunately, AZ's Floette died when fighting in the war. So, in order to revive his Pokemon, he built a gigantic machine that mimicked the power of Xerneas and Yveltal. And basically, when he fired the weapon, it's like that all of the energy from all of the soldiers and Pokemon in the war, and then that energy was converted and used to revive his Floette. But little did AZ know by doing this was that it would give him and Floette both eternal life, and also make him grow like 3 feet for some reason. So in short, what makes AZ a superhuman is that he's 9 foot tall for one, and also that he lives forever. He is immortal. So when you think about it, AZ has been alive throughout all of the Pokemon games we've seen. Even in Legend of Arceus, he is walking around somewhere on Earth. And also when you think about it, when Lysandre fired the ultimate weapon, he was probably given eternal life as well, and now is buried underground for the rest of his life, which will be forever. So yeah, I can't really think of any other character in the Pokemon world that is immortal, even a Pokemon besides the gods. Him and his Floette will just be around forever. Well, and also Lysandre buried underground. Next, we have the Channelers, and no, not Chandler from Friends, but the Channelers in the Pokemon Tower in Red and Blue. Now, I'm not sure if this is categorized as a true power, but these channelers have the capability of allowing ghosts talk through them. They basically channel the ghost energy through their body and let them possess them and such. Now, what's interesting about these channelers is that Erica might have been a channeler as well in the beta version of Pokemon Red and Blue. Because for one, when you look at her sprite, she is clearly floating a Pokeball. But more importantly, the kimono she is wearing is a yukata that is worn right over left. And traditionally, when yukata is worn right over left, that means the body is being prepared for a funeral. So generally speaking, you're dead. So that in itself might be evidence that Erica was a ghost or something, or at least a channeler that spoke for the dead. And then for 2, Ken Sugimori revealed some concept art for the original gym leaders of Pokemon Red and Green. And as you can see, Erica is wearing that yukata right over left, and also she is numbered as 5. And what do you know? Lavender was listed as the 5th city in the original concept art for the game, so it just all adds up. So maybe in a past life, Erica was a channeler and she could channel spirits and talk to them. And with these superhuman powers, she can also float her Pokeball up in the air. So yeah, in the Pokemon world, there are channelers, there are psychics, and I would just expect to see vampires and werewolves in the future. And honestly, I think that would be pretty cool actually. Next up, we have Sheena, and man, this girl right here has like a very overpowered ability. As it's worded in the anime, she can transcend time and space to connect with the hearts of Pokemon. Basically means she can communicate with them heart to heart, soul to soul. And in the movie Arceus and the Jewel of Life, she uses this ability to summon gods, like quite literally Dialga, Palkia, Giratina, and Arceus. Like in the beginning of the movie, Ash's Pikachu gets sucked in a vortex of water and she just runs up and prays to Dialga and he just comes out of nowhere to save them. And it really says a lot that Dialga would show up for Sheena, because Dialga is a god that helped create the universe that is like 14 billion years old. And it has enough respect for Sheena just to drop everything and instantly show up just to save some little 5-year-old Pikachu that's just nothing compared to it. So I would definitely say that's a power in itself, befriending these gods, and anyone that knows that would never mess with her. And yeah, that's basically the extent of her powers, but in my eyes, it's enough, okay? Once you have access to gods, you're good. She is definitely a top tier superhuman. Alright, for number 5, we have Morty from the Pokemon manga, and he might have these powers in the game, but we'll talk about that here in a sec. But to put it simply, Mori has the ability of clairvoyance, which basically means that he can locate items without knowing where they are. He is basically the human version of the item finder. And yeah, that's basically it. He can locate items for other people. If someone comes up to them and they're like, hey, I want to find a rare candy, he'll be like, yeah, just go down there to the left and under that bush, there'll be a rare candy for you, bud. He just knows where things are. But the funny thing is that he can't locate items for himself. He can only do it for other people. So if he himself wanted to go find like a rare candy or a Master Ball somewhere, he couldn't find it. He wouldn't know, which is a pretty unfortunate downside to his ability. Now, about the game. So, when you battle him at the gym, he's like, I have secretly trained here all of my life. As a result, I can now see what others cannot. And what's fishy about this line is that the item finder is actually located in Equity City, the same city where his gym is at. So maybe there's some kind of connection there, or maybe that's how the manga people came up with this clairvoyance ability for him. Or maybe it's just about how he wants to see a future of him meeting Ho-Oh. So I don't know, it's just up in the air. But yeah, Morty has the ability of clairvoyance, and he's just like a really weak psychic, I guess. Nowhere near the level of Sabrina. Speaking of psychics, we have Olympia, someone who probably rivals Sabrina's power and might even be stronger than her. Now, in the anime, it is said that whoever places their wrist inside Olympia's bracelet will allow Olympia to see their past and future. And not just a little tiny vision, but it literally allows Olympia to see everything that has happened to this person and everything that will happen to this person. So if the person wants to know who they'll marry, or when they'll die, or if they become famous and rich, Olympia will know. Her psychic powers are so strong that she can pinpoint everything precisely. And one of her great feats of displaying this power is predicting the fight between Groudon and Kyogre. She foresaw that these two legendary Pokemon will end up fighting and cause a lot of chaos with the weather. So she literally saved all of Kalos from the extreme weather that Groudon and Kyogre emitted. On top of that, she also has a Doctor Strange cloak around her that creates a zero gravity and amplifies her power. So she can literally just levitate around and go wherever she wants, I guess. And along with that, she is also a teacher of psychics, so other psychics come to her gym and train under her to amplify their abilities. Not to mention that she speaks in nothing but haiku, so she must be a genius. So if there's ever a fight between Olympia and Sabrina, I'd probably put my money on Olympia because she just seems intense with her psychic powers. powers, especially when she starts seeing a vision, because she goes in and out of visions all of the time, and you see her hair kind of like pointing into different directions when it happens. So she's kind of like Zatu, she just goes in and out of visions constantly all of the time. So yeah, this pretty unpopular gym leader is actually pretty interesting and is definitely a superhuman in Pokemon. Next up, we have a very minor power, but it's still pretty cool. And also, there's not a lot of superhumans in Pokemon that I could find. So if y'all know any other superhumans, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. But with that said, we have Valerie, and her ability is that she can speak Pokemon, particularly fairy-type Pokemon language, I believe. And when I say language, I don't mean how Ash talks to Pikachu. She can actually speak, let's say, Sylveon or Spritzy. She'll literally go, Spritzy, 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 and they'll know exactly what she's saying. And apparently, speaking in Pokemon language amplifies their powers in battle, so if you know their language, it allows them to go to their full extent. And I guess it kind of makes sense, because when you're speaking English, they gotta like process it, then translate it in their own language, and then do the move. But if you're just speaking directly in their language, they'll know even quicker on what to do. So yeah, it's a cool little ability that Valerie has, and if you're curious on how she learned it, basically she wants to be a Pokemon, so she went out of her way to learn their language so she can be even closer to her dream. Oh, and also N can do this, but there's a whole theory that he's a Pokemon, so he wouldn't be superhuman, he would just be a Pokemon. But yeah, that's Valerie. Next up, we have our very own Ash Ketchum, and no, I'm not talking about his plot armor, but he's actually superhuman. And so Ash's power is that he can tap into aura. And in the present time, this power is exceptionally rare, even more rare than being a psychic. Not a lot of people have access to aura. And I don't blame you if you don't know what aura is, because there's not a lot of information about it, but in the anime, it is described as the essence of all living creatures. So it's basically like your chakra in Naruto, or just your energy, your soul in real life. And being aura sensitive allows you to sense other people's aura and connect with them, and even manipulate aura to transfer your aura to them. Like for example, in the movie Lucario the Mystery of Mew, a very famous aura guardian, Sir Aaron, transferred his life to a Mew to save the Tree of Beginning to end a war. So if you're strong enough like Sir Aaron, you can literally transfer all of your aura to save someone else's life, which is a pretty powerful ability. And fun fact about Sir Aaron, he is known as the true guardian of aura, so he's like one of the most powerful aura manipulators there ever was. And are you ready to get your mind blown? I believe that Ash is a descendant of Sir Aaron, because it is said in the movie that he has the exact same aura as him. Even Sir Aaron's Lucario, who's still alive, senses Ash's aura and thinks that it's Sir Aaron. So the fact that Ash might be a descendant of one of the strongest aura guardians to ever live just shows the potential of the power that Ash could have. And let's think Arceus and Ash is a good guy, because there's also bad aura, like as we can see in Pokemon Colosseum with Shadow Pokemon. And in that game, Rui, who I assume to be aura sensitive as well, can sense this black aura, this evil aura these Pokemon have. So yeah, maybe in the near future we'll see Ash do something with his current Lucario, and maybe they'll have like a clash with a Shadow Pokemon that has bad aura, so it's good versus evil. But yeah, this is a pretty cool ability that Ash has that's not explained by plot armor, so yeah, he's superhuman. Now, if you thought Ash was the only character from the main cast that has superpowers, you were wrong, because Brock has superpowers as well. And to put it simply, he has the ability to turn rice balls into jelly donuts, okay? That is a big deal. Like, turning things into jelly donuts, especially rice balls, that's not very tasty to begin with, is just insane, okay? Maybe the most impressive power on this list. And not only that, guys, but Brock can also turn a frying pan into a drying pan. What am I saying? See, it's so intense that I can't even say it right. He can turn a frying pan into a drying pan. I haven't seen any anime character in history be able to do that, okay? He might be the strongest of all time. If I made a tier list right now of the strongest anime character, Brock would be SSS tier, okay? Above Goku, Naruto, or even Saitama. So he is definitely superhuman, and that was an honorable mention, so let's get right into the #1 spot of this 10 list. Now, believe it or not, there are wizards in the Pokemon world, and Pokemon magic is actually a real thing. And so for the last superhuman on this list, we have Lily, a Pokemon magician that we meet in the anime. Now, Lily is definitely based on Harry Potter's mother because her name was Lily, she has red hair, she has a British accent, and she was also a witch. But even though they are parallels, they have different magic, and in the Pokemon world, instead of conjuring spells with a wand, they conjure spells with Pokemon ingredients. Like for example, Lily does a spell with earth dug up by a Dugtrio, hair from a Flaffy's neck, and a pinch of dry scales from a Magikarp. And with these ingredients, she was able to summon 3 Spinarak that would shoot webs at Misty's face and make her skin smoother, because that was the whole point of the spell, to make her skin smoother, which is pretty humorous because Misty hates bugs. Another spell that she wanted to do, which was the main one of this episode, was to understand Pokemon's speech. And in order to do this, she needed ingredients like Shuckle's Secret Cure, powdered Stantler horns, yogurt that was made from Miltank's milk, a flower petal marked with a kiss of a Jinx, and even Stun Spore from a Parasect. And with all these ingredients together, the spell would allow humans to understand Pokemon's speech, kind of like In and Valerie. But hilariously enough, Lily screwed up the spell and turned Ash into a Pikachu, so yeah, she has that kind of power too. So yeah, Lily as a magician is definitely superhuman and comes with a package of being a witch. So to put it simply, she can do spells and shit, which definitely makes her superhuman. And there you go, 10 Pokemon trainers with superhuman powers. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, did you know that Magamar's Japanese name is Boomer? Yeah, pretty random, right? Well, I have a video right here with 100 useless facts of a bunch of random things like that. So check it out, it's right there, shining on your screen. Oh, and while you're at it, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell.